As kids head back to class this week, it means there's a higher chance of exposure to various diseases and health risks as well. Let's discuss with Dr. Nicola Mercer, the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin Guelph. Dr. Mercer, great to see you again.
Oh, it's great to be back.
Okay, well, let's start with vaccines. What ones should families really be making sure their children have at this time of year as they are heading back to school?
Yeah, well, I put them in two really buckets of vaccines. So if you're sending your young child off to school for the first time, or maybe they're in SK or grade 1, there's a whole bunch of vaccines that they need to have to stay in school. And these are the childhood vaccines. And one of those childhood vaccines that they really has been on everybody's mind right now is the measles vaccine, which also comes with mumps and rubella. So if you haven't seen your family doctor for a long time, maybe you don't have a family doctor, this is a really good time, though, to think about that yellow card that maybe you had, or the vaccines, or when was the last time your child had a shot, and get up to date. If you don't have a family doctor, you can try a walk-in clinic or call your public health unit, because I know we'd be more than happy to talk to you and see what your child needs. Then there are the vaccines that your kid's going to get when they're in grade 7. So there are 3 vaccines that we give to children in grade 7, a meningitis vaccine, a hepatitis vaccine, as well as an anti-cancer HPV vaccine. Now, these vaccines are free while your child's a student, but once they graduate from high school, they're no longer free. And if your child is traveling to this, maybe to school in the States, sports scholarship, or wants to do humanitarian work in any part of the world, these 3 vaccines are really important that your child receive, and they're free while your kid's in grade 7. And if your child is nervous about vaccines, and we know a lot of people are, they don't want to get vaccines, you can call us. We actually have a whole program. We work really hard to make sure that those children who are scared of needles can still get all their shots in comfort.
Okay, that's great. We also know in the first few months of the school year, of course, a lot of germs are going around. What are some of the most common illnesses that you'll see or parents will see at this time of year?
Yeah, well, usually starting about 2 or 3 weeks just before Thanksgiving, after the school starts, we start to see respiratory infections starting to spread. This is not the peak time of year. Usually it's anywhere around Thanksgiving, and for the few weeks after that's when your child is going to start coming home with a runny nose. But we do see it. This is when they're meeting other kids, and they're actually being exposed to a lot more germs, and they're indoor in a classroom environment. So this is a time, if you can teach your child to wash their hands often, that's a good thing, especially before they eat anything. That's a really good habit for all of us to have in order to keep yourself healthy. And also just to make sure that any of those shots that they might be missing are up to date. I don't want to see measles make a resurgence, but it is possible, especially if your child is unvaccinated or if there are other children in the class who are unvaccinated. It is possible that some of these vaccine preventable diseases could also show their head this fall.
We've talked a lot about vaping and the use of nicotine patches rising, especially among those older students. As kids do head back to class, how do you recommend parents tackle this topic with their kids?
Well, I think the really important thing is for parents to know that this vaping in particular can be hidden by your child. And it actually is starting as young as children who are in grade, like even elementary school. So just because your child is in grade 6, 7, or 8, don't think that they haven't or don't know about vaping, and know people who are vaping. So please keep the conversation open and talk to your child about what these things are, that they're not just candy flavored liquid, that they are addicting. And also make sure that with your older children, or if you find that they actually have vaped, tell them that there is plans. You can speak to your family doctor. There are ways to help them to stop vaping. And so if this is something that they're doing, or you discover, or they're thinking about, have that open conversation, and please reach out to us in public health. We can give you some tools, and we can talk to you more about what you can do for your child if they're vaping.
Okay, lastly, let's just touch on food allergies as well. For kids heading back to the classroom with food allergies, do you have advice for parents on a type of plan that they can come up with?
Yeah, this one's a tricky one because there's food allergies and food sensitivities. But for those children who are truly allergic, that means they have to carry an EpiPen. So really the most important thing is making sure that for younger children in particular, that you have a plan with the school, that they have an EpiPen close by, and that your child is aware of how to get it, or those in the classroom, teachers and others know how to get access to that EpiPen. And for older children, that they actually are comfortable carrying it, that you have sort of a strategy strategy where they can keep it around them in their backpack or pouch, because, for this age group, they don't necessarily want to carry a lot of stuff. But if they have a true food allergy, the most important thing is to have that EpiPen close by so that they can get immediate treatment as soon as they start developing symptoms. But from a preventative strategy, the most important thing is to teach your child not to share food, to only eat what they have prepared for you at home, and to keep your hands clean, because it's really that cross-contamination. It's not what they breathe in the air, it's what they're putting in their mouth. So don't try anything, don't swap food, and don't even pick up or touch other children's food if they have true food allergies.
Okay, well, we covered a lot. And of course, best of luck to all the kids heading back to school this week. Dr. Mercer, thanks so much for the advice. Dr. Nicola Mercer is the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin Guelph. Thanks again.
And thank you for having me.